To pass this lesson, fill in the blanks and respond to the questions on the answer key to the right. Make sure to pay attention to this course to learn the correct answers. You will see a box like this containing the information you'll need for the answer portion. Pay special attention to the information in bold. Be sure to check spelling when answering. In this course, you will learn about the Old Kingdom period in Egypt. Egypt's Old Kingdom lasted for approximately 800 years, according to many historians. The Old Kingdom is a period when Egypt attained its first continuous peak of civilization and experienced internal security and prosperity. During the Old Kingdom, the king of Egypt, not called the Pharaoh until the New Kingdom, became a living god who ruled absolutely and could demand the service and wealth of all of his subjects. The first king of the Old Kingdom wanted to emphasize his wealth and power by having many grand structures built. The main architect was a man by the name of Imhotep. He is the first named artist in history. Not only was Imhotep a valuable architect, but he was also an important person, second only to the king himself. Imhotep is credited with the development of building with stone and with the conception of the new architectural form, the step pyramid. Indeed, the Old Kingdom is perhaps best known for the large number of pyramids constructed at this time as royal burial places. For this reason, the Old Kingdom is frequently referred to as the Age of the Pyramids. The first Egyptian pyramid is the Pyramid of Djoser. Imhotep designed it in approximately 2600 BCE to be the future burial site of King Djoser. The 203-foot pyramid consisted of 6 huge steps constructed from blocks of stone. The builders actually started with a smaller pyramid design at first, but decided to build a much larger structure over it. The pyramid was not simply a grave in ancient Egypt. Its purpose was to facilitate a successful afterlife for the king so that he could be eternally reborn. Under the step pyramid is a labyrinth of tunneled chambers and galleries that total over 3.5 miles in length. These spaces provide room for the king's burial, the burial of family members, and the storage of goods and offerings. Unfortunately, the burial chamber was robbed sometime in history and the king's riches and remains taken. The next pyramid of the Old Kingdom is the most famous, the Pyramid of Giza. Built nearly 100 years after the Djoser pyramids, the Great Pyramid of Giza is the oldest of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. The pyramid took between 10 to 20 years to build and is 481 feet tall. It's believed that the pyramid was built for the pharaoh Khufu. Like all Egyptian pyramids, it was built as a tomb and contains multiple chambers, including a king's chamber and a queen's chamber. Both chambers used to contain riches, but by the time of the New Kingdom in Egypt, robbers had tunneled in and stolen the valuables. In the same complex as the Pyramid of Giza, there are 5 other pyramids. The largest 3, including Khufu's pyramid, which is the largest of them all, are known as the Great Pyramids of Giza. There are also 3 smaller pyramids for Egyptian queens. Also in this complex is the Great Sphinx. The large limestone sculpture was built around the same time as the Middle Great Pyramid of Giza. The Arabic name for the Sphinx means the terrifying one, or the father of dread. A sphinx is a mythical creature with a lion's body and human head. Sometime throughout history, the nose and beard were cut off intentionally or blown off by accident by cannon fire. No one is really sure what happened. Whatever the case, the Sphinx and the Great Pyramids of Giza are amazing structures that represent the height of Egypt's Old Kingdom. Besides huge structures such as the pyramids, Egyptians also created other types of art. One of these is relief sculpture. As mentioned in earlier lessons, relief sculpture gives the impression that the sculpted material has been raised above a flat background. Figures project only slightly from the background rather than standing freely. One famous relief sculpture from the Old Kingdom is the Narmer Palette. It is thought to depict the unification of Upper and Lower Egypt under the king Narmer. On one side, the king is depicted with the bulbed white crown of Upper Egypt, and the other side depicts the king wearing the level red crown of Lower Egypt. Palettes were typically used for grinding cosmetics, but this palette is too large and heavy to have been created for personal use and was probably a ritual object specifically made for use in a temple. One theory is that it was used to grind cosmetics to adorn the statues of the gods. Another type of art created in Egypt's Old Kingdom is sculpture. One famous sculpture from this time is the seated scribe, found near the Pyramid of Djoser. The painted sculpture is depicted holding a roll of papyrus. Papyrus is a special paper made from the papyrus plant. A striking part of the figure is his face. Realistic features stand in contrast to the less detailed body. Special attention was devoted to the eyes of the sculpture. Notice how detailed they are. Also, the scribe's hands are in writing position. It seems that the right hand was holding a brush, but it is now missing. The end of the Old Kingdom period came about from the weakening of the pharaoh's power and the emergence of several regional governors. Power struggles and internal conflicts led to political turmoil. The final blow was a severe drought that lasted 50 years and resulted in decades of famine and strife.